Never been one to look at the pieces of pie. I want the whole thing. Foot on their neck when I bear it all on a track. Call it a soul train. Never been a quitter. Never been lazy. Hit it like I'm quitting. Kind of fugazi. Yeah, this stuff just amazed me. Then I try to say goodbye like I'm Macy Gracie. But I really can't deny. Hip hop helped raise me. I ain't gonna quit on y'all. Hot flash like a menopause, and I walk in the room in the menopause. I'm old school like LL with a Kango and a fin of a jaws. Welcome to Kicking It with Kula, all things hip hop. I am your favorite hip hop artist, Kula Voncille. And guess what? This is my first show. So yeah, y'all get an introductory look into the eyes of how I feel about hip hop. So just make sure you tune in K101.2 on Audacity or Apple Music. My show is from Saturday between 2 and 3. It will be debuting this Saturday. So make sure you tune in. What time? Between 2 and 3. So like I said, it is Kicking It with Kula, all things hip hop. So let's dive into it off the bat. We ain't even gonna start with no fluffy stuff. We getting right to the meat and potatoes of what does it mean when you kicking it with me and we talking about hip hop. Well, in order to talk about hip hop, I felt like I had to get to the foundation and bare bones about hip hop in itself, and just to bring it to light the nuances from the past to the present, because some people feel like we've lost our way in hip hop, and I don't necessarily feel 100% on board with that comment or that statement. I just feel like we need to look at it through a different lens. Okay, so today's show, first show off the rip, is going to be the element / foundation of hip hop. Now, if you're a hip hop head like myself, you know there are key elements to hip hop. Some people call it the foundation of hip hop. Some people call it the elements of hip hop. So we're going to talk about them. There's DJing, there's b-boying, there's MCing, there's graffiti, and there's knowledge of self. Those are 5 instrumental things that make up hip hop. So today we're going to talk about those 5 instrumental things, and we're going to see how it was in the past and how it comes full circle to the future. So the first one, I forgot to tell y'all my slogan. Kicking it with Kula, all things hip hop. More than music, it's a culture. Cause hip hop is more than music, it's culture. So I just want to slide that on in there real quick. All right, now back to business. All right, I chose to pick the first one, DJing. All right. Now, let's picture the scene. Backyard, New York, Brooklyn, and the key element right now is getting the party started, right? So, close your eyes and picture DJ with the crates. He's got his vinyl, got his turntables, right? The DJ. He or she, they are a very instrumental part of hip hop. Now with DJing back then, you had the turntables, the ones and the twos is what we used to call them. You had the scratching and the mixing blends and stuff, and that's when they figured out the breakdown of the beats when they would. And this is the first example of sampling without the technology. To keep it a buck, the James Brown samples, the Parliament, and the Funkadelics all came off of the DJ finding that break beat. And the crowd would lose it, okay? And the DJ was instrumental with the break dancing, instrumental with the vibe of the crowd, just making sure everybody was feeling it, dancing, grooving. The grandma sitting there, I remember when, y'all don't know nothing about that. Just that was the instrumental part of the instrumental part of the DJ bars. Another aspect of DJing was these ended up being your producers based off how they spliced it and mixed it and broke it down and scratched it and wicked with it. Those end up being the hook, the room to give the rapper that 16, the bridge is over. Now, let's talk about how DJing has transformed to now. Because hip hop is such a vast culture, it's globalized. Let's talk about that. So now you have more technology involved with DJ. The scratching and the mixing is not so much needed as it was back then because we have the technology. Basically, it's the mashups of what's catching everybody's ear with the DJ. How can you mix Phil Collins and Sexy Red over the same beat and make the crowd lose it? Because if I hear "In the Air Tonight" by Phil Collins and I hear it mixed up with Red, Sexy Red or Glorilla, I'm gonna lose it because those are two vastly different genres of music. And I think that's what the DJs are doing now. You got the EDM, you got these mashups, you got all these things now because of technology. Technology is going to be a very, very big instrument in this conversation because we didn't have the technology. I'm a 73 baby, so hip hop was born in 73. So I'm growing in my life as hip hop is growing. Hip hop is literally my timeline as a person. So currently, DJing has turned into EDM, trap, drill, lo-fi, to the point where producers can now just have their music being played for hours. DJs can't perform for hours back in the day. Well, some of them. But now we could just get that music all the time with technology. Okay, so that's one element. The next one, right underneath it to me, because I'm in my vision, I'm in the block party in New York and Brooklyn. So you got the DJ. Now the DJ's playing. Who needs the DJ the most? Break dancers. The B-boys and the B-girls, or the B-thems and the B-theys, however y'all want to make it politically correct today. That was a joke. Expression, explosive street dancing. That's what breakdancing was. There was no template. There was no choreography with breakdancing. It was, I like to pop lock like this, and it makes me feel good. I look dope when I do it. So, how you pop lock like that? Yo, teach me how to pop like that. It was a cardboard on the floor. This is a good surface to do the windmill. That's how b-boying came about. Expressive and explosive street dancing. It had a lot of athleticism in it. It was all about battling. It was all about marking your turf. Now, battling is going to be throughout this one as well as technology, because hip hop just came off as a more so aggressive self-expression type of music. There wasn't arts programs back in those days and stuff trying to uplift the urban youth, the hood, whatever. So they had these expressions, and breakdancing was one of it. You can't outdance me and my crew. Bet you we can. And you came to that block party. That DJ set the tone with that music, and it was a battle. Who can break the hardest? Who had the dopest windmill, the headstand, the pop locking game? Now, I wasn't a windmill kind of gal, but baby, my isolations was crazy back then. I'm just saying. Now, we already know this youthful expression for teens without resources came about to the point where nowadays it's an Olympic sport, people. Breakdancing is in the Olympics. It's even crazy to think about. I would have never thought watching Street Cruise and Electric Boogaloo with... there's a scene where he breaks dance up the wall, and compared to the graphics today, you could not tell me that was not real back in the 80s when my boy, when Electric Boogaloo started and isolate and moonwalking up that wall. It's one of my favorite scenes in old school hip hop movie. But yeah, so again, DJing correlating with the breakdancing. Now, like I said, breakdancing is in the Olympics. You got people from Australia trying to breakdance and doing it a total disservice. I wanted to throw tomatoes at that lady on the TV when she was breakdancing in the Olympics. I was like, girl, my daughter can breakdance better than that. But another element that we're going to talk about in our next breakdown segment we're going to talk about the MC. Now, I have to start fresh on the next segment with the MC. So, again, this is your girl, Kula Voncille. It is Kicking It with Kula, all things hip hop. And when we come back, we're going to break down the element of MCing.